Welcome to Happy Foot Sad Foot, your LAFC gateway drug and the only LAFC podcast whose Carlos Vela still hasn't shown up yet, just like the team. I'm Darren Miller.
And I'm Vince LaRosa. Welcome to our preview of LAFC's first MLS match of 2024 versus the Seattle Sounders.
They'll be playing at 1:45 p.m. at BMO Stadium. You can watch it on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV Plus, on Apple TV for free, and on Fox. And of course, we'll be live streaming our post-game call-in show 10 minutes after the final whistle at youtube.com/@HappyFootSadFoot.
Later in the show, we're going to answer a fan question to see who's the best hang on LAFC. And of course, we'll have our storylines for this matchup, and we'll make some bets.
But first, we've tried to get right into all the meat on the bone before, and the listeners revolted. You showed up with pitchforks and torches at our doors and dragged us into the town square where you beat us senseless and let us live on the one condition that we never cover anything of substantial value so abruptly at the top of the episode ever again. And so, out of love and respect for our listeners, and to thank you for your mercy, in accordance with what is now known as the Hafo Safo Listener Mandate of 2023 AD, it's time for listener-mandated banter. Vince?
I'm going to talk...
What's up?
About the weather. Because if you're going to force us to banter, even if the weather is the most inane...
That's a good banter.
Yeah. It's like doing stand-up and talking about travel, right? Like you just avoid some topics. They're very hacky. But the weather has been interesting, right? Like we get like these like 2 or 3 days of just torrential downpour, followed by like today was like one of the most gorgeous days I've seen at this time of year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then I think it'll be okay through the weekend. And I'm pretty sure from what I've seen, listening to my local weather forecast on Fox 11, it's coming back. So maybe this is just our new normal, Darren. Monday, Tuesday, rain. Wednesday, Thursday, we get a little bit better. And then you get a little bit of weekend, but it's not like the best weather. And then right back to rain.
Yeah. I don't know what the forecast is for match day, but I will say that I don't think there's anything better than soccer in the rain. The part of me that misses playing soccer, that's what I miss the most. Just
only when it's on the fields that they have are nice.
Beat, I think.
Yeah, the fields that they have are nice. I would say some of my worst memories are playing soccer in the rain on like poor, just like high school fields where like it basically just turned into a full mud brawl. And I hated that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because look at me. You look at me, Darren. Do I look like the type of guy?
That was fun, but that's not really what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, because when you look at me, you think, that's not the type of guy that wants to like go out there and like slide in the mud. No, I want to be somewhat clean by the time I finish the game.
You've got plays to execute. You've got plans.
I know. I'm a fancy player.
You can't throw all the plans to shit.
Yeah. In mud games, you just basically kick the ball and see how far it'll go before it stops and then try to kick it again. It's more like rugby. It's not even sports.
Yeah, I don't want that. I want everything is wet. The ball travels a little bit crazy on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
You can slide a lot. The rain is like in the way of everyone's vision a little bit. But other than that, like the pitch is still in good shape. It's just part of the air is rain.
And they don't have to do the sprinklers on the field before the halves, which still like confound a lot of people. Just for all of those people that are wondering, like, why do they water the field before the game? Is it for the grass? Does the grass really need water that bad? It's just because they really like when the ball moves quickly. When you water the field, the ball moves quickly. And just for whatever reason, I don't know, because obviously I wasn't that bougie when we played when we were younger and played on fields where they watered them. But professional players just love it when the ball is slick and it just moves like that. It is what it is. I actually think, though, what they're really doing is trying to hide the fact that they're all secretly hoping to score a goal so that they can do a knee slide, and it only looks good when the field is wet. Because you've seen those few people that have tried to do it on a dry field, and it has ended in utter disaster.
Yeah. Who was it that recently did that? There was recently a half slide complete. It was eating shit.
Actually, a guy that the Galaxy had been targeting as a new DP player. They weren't able to get it over the line. I think his name is Ramon Sosa, a Paraguayan player that plays in Argentina. Okay. And yeah, I wouldn't even say half slide, Darren. I think he pretty much jumped a couple feet into the air, came down expecting to go horizontal, and then bounced like in just full golf.
It was like a knee plunge into the grass.
Yeah. And then all his teammates ran to him and still like hugged him. But secretly they were like, bro,
feel like, dude, you blew it.
Yeah, like now we looks dumb too.
Was the
Like
goal? Should the goal count in that scenario?
what I would have
I
loved
think maybe
is
they should take away the
guy
goal.
running, teammate running to him and about to reach him, sees it happening and just stops and looks around and then slowly turns and just goes, I'm not gonna. I don't want to be in the frame with this.
Yeah, this isn't for me anymore.
Yeah,
I think they really should. We should consider this. There should be some kind of punishment for if you score a goal, but you blow the celebration that hard. We got to look at something. I don't know if it's like a yellow.
we're looking at a new color
That
card.
this is when you actually use the blue card.
Yeah,
This is what blue cards should be for.
mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good because you come off. Actually,
Come off for a little bit to
you
think
should get
about
a
what you
blue
did.
card for this.
Yeah,
this is good. Yeah, you get a timeout. All right, is that enough banter for you freaks?
I think so. It started with, you know what? I tried to derail it by going with weather, and I think we finished strong, which is pretty much the MO for this podcast.
We'll find our way back. All right, let's start the show. Okay. As a casual LAFC fan, I love the team and I'll watch all the matches, but keeping up with every detail can sometimes feel a bit like a full-time job, and I already have one of those and many children to take care of. I'm just incredibly busy living a very full and successful adult life with very important responsibilities. I don't have time to dig into all the roster changes, rumors, matchups, stats, and tactics behind the gameplay on the pitch. All I see is ball get kicked, ball go in net, Frenchman flip. Luckily, my friends Travis, the human LAFC crazy wall, and Vince, Travis's LAFC dealer and tenured LAFC professor, are full-on LAFC addicts. So, like having my own personal Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, every week I toss them into an RV to sit through all the game tape, stats, pressers, rumors, and tweets, and then explain what's really going on beneath the surface of each week's matchups so we can all enjoy them so much more in a segment we call Storylines. All right. What do you got for me?
Song done. Vince, get to work.
What's happening this week?
What's not happening this week, Darren? The MLS season is going to start for LAFC this weekend. It has already started. I'm sure everyone watched Messi. All everyone's talking about is the fact that he chipped the ball over that guy that was pretending to die on the ground, and it was like the coolest thing they've ever seen. It was okay. Look, it was okay.
He's very good at soccer, and he proved it in that moment.
He's done so much cooler. It was okay, but people are losing their minds. But let's leave that for another day. We'll talk about that at some. We'll talk plenty of Messi, I'm sure, this year. And Darren, as you and our listeners know, it's a truly magical time where every fan base outside of Toronto is full of hope, and I truly believe that. In our season preview, we detailed how quickly a team can go from bad to good in MLS. The season before last, the Crew missed the playoffs only to win MLS Cup. Why? Because parity. That's why. And while many MLS fans will complain, it's that same parity that is holding MLS back. I think it's actually exciting to not know what is going to happen during the season before the season starts. Go with me here, Darren. Consider your average EPL team, aka any team not named Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and sometimes Manchester United and Chelsea. As the season starts, that team, said average EPL team, can only hope to first not get relegated and then maybe climb all the way to 7th spot and maybe play in a lower level European competition the next season. So who's celebrating mediocrity now?
That's true.
At LAFC, though, we're always hopeful at this point in the season to start every season, because even when our team merely reaches 3 finals in a season, it's a failure. But there's another reason this time of year is so special. It's the first tailgate of the season, Darren sinking his teeth into his first birria taco of 2024, the first beer showers, and inevitably the first win, inshallah, of the season. Am I coming off as too confident? No, not really. You want to know why? Because as we head into this first game, keep in mind that LAFC is perfect in all 6 of its previous home openers. Not undefeated, perfect, Darren. 6 matches, 6 wins, including an inaugural home opener against the Sounders in 2018. Darren, this is all a long way of me saying, do you believe in jinxes? Did I just put the commentator's curse on LAFC by pointing out their perfect record? Should we not have said this? Are you going to cut this from the episode now for fear of those same pitchforks that you talked about from listener mandated banter, that if we do not win this game, not just lose, do not win, that it's my fault for pointing out that LAFC is perfect?
Let me go on the record and say that is horse shit. I hate the curse jinxing shit. I hate anytime this comes up. There's few things I hate more in sports. It's all coincidence. The world is chaos, and that's all there is anyway.
And let's be fair, we're all
There is no
thinking
such
it.
thing.
We're all thinking
There's no
it.
such
There's
thing.
only
There's no such
there's
thing.
only the brave few that can say it. And we deserve credit for saying it, because you know what, these things need pointed out, especially in a league where the reason why we do this is because people don't know the storylines. We better be pointing out that LAFC is perfect in all of its home openers.
Can I amend that real quick?
Yeah.
On the flip side of it, I think you can affect it positively with good juju.
Okay.
So there's no logic to what I'm saying here, obviously, but I do think you can take credit for the success of the team. But it's not your fault if you jinx it.
It's not my fault. Okay.
That's my stance.
And as long as I don't go walking around the training facility and being like, "Hey guys, you got this. You've never lost a home opener. It's not a big
That's
deal."
not jinxing it. That's just genuinely directly affecting the situation.
Do you think what do you
That's like actually fucking with them.
do you think the players would be
Not
like,
from
"Yo,
there's no TV between you guys.
actually, this is a good question. You don't believe in jinxes, right? But should the players be superstitious? If I were to see said LAFC player and be like, you guys are good. Like you guys are perfect in home openers. Should they be like, shush, don't even put that in my mind. I don't even want it in the back of my head as I go out there on Saturday. I don't want anything to reassure me in a way that I might not give 100%.
That I think that's worth a different discussion.
Okay.
I will say, because you could have gotten into his head, and then his mental state is affected, and if that turns into a slippery slope, you would hope that person would have his head would be screwed on a little bit more securely than that. But there's no arguing that you're the one that set it off.
That's fair. I've been accused of worse at LAFC, so I'll move on to storyline 2. I've not done that. I've not spoken to any players as much as I would have liked to. I did wish Steve Cherundolo happy birthday and good luck on the first game of the season. That's all. That's all I've done. So
okay, so now this is the crossover for my background and Travis's too. If we're talking about theater,
oh no,
good luck that would be a code red situation. So
I should have told him to break a leg.
You can't say good luck in a theater. You can't say Macbeth in a theater. Mm-hmm. There's a lot. I would say this is more entertainment, sports crossover. I would say probably more superstition in that world than in sports even.
See, my worry is I would love to say break a leg, but as we all know, soccer players are literal. Bautista's character in Guardians of the Galaxy, they do not understand any kind of metaphor, sarcasm, or nuance. And I would worry that they would actually get hurt.
It might be the reverse. Yeah. It might be if you say break a leg, then you are jinxing them and they will break a leg.
Then let's move on quickly before I get any more trouble. And let's move on. Let's talk about who LAFC is playing on Saturday. It is the Seattle Sounders, a team that has become a rival, I would say, of LAFC. I think, Darren, you said other than the Galaxy, next in line for you, even above Portland, the team that you dislike the most.
Yes, I would say so.
Okay.
I think the history is gritty and ripe compared to other teams.
This is where I'm going.
The gameplay is the biggest rival.
Games, consequences, things like that. And honestly, Seattle just is a little bit annoying. And here's where I'm going with this. Seattle is one of those teams where the more things change, the more they stay the same. And basically what I'm saying is this season will be the first season in a long time that they'll be without Nico Ladero, a fantastic player, probably one of the best sounders of all time. He has moved on. He has gone to join Orlando City. So he's staying in MLS, but he's gone. However, despite him being gone, they still have Rui Diaz, João Paulo, Rusnak, Jordan Morris, the Roldan brothers, a never-ending supply of homegrowns, and obviously uncompromising defenders, backstopped by Stefan Fry. So, like the Seattle, as you said, the gameplay, like the Seattle mentality, the tradition of being like some good players, but they just get under your skin and they're a little bit dickish.
All shitheads.
It just does not go. However, they have added in Ladero's spot one player that a lot of pundits are high on, Pedro de la Vega. He's a tricky winger from Lanús in Argentina. Everyone is really high on this player. They actually think he's an upgrade over Ladero. Could possibly be an upgrade. He's a young player, 21. And that's saying a lot. Darren, 5 out of 6 writers at The Athletic have Seattle finishing first in the conference, and all of them had them above LAFC. You last week had not a single team finishing above LAFC. So tell me why those athletic writers are wrong, starting with this game on Saturday.
Well, it's very simple. It's that I just know more than them, and I'm more of an expert than any of them. So I just know that LAFC is. I think I'm probably like more impartial than them too,
Fair.
if I'm thinking about it. Like I just have a better bird's eye view of the whole league. So I think I'm just more trustworthy and a better source, more reliable source for this kind of news. I'm going to stick with my predictions 100%. I don't think that anyone's going to be finishing above LAFC.
Do you think Seattle will be very good?
That's just what's going to happen.
Like, where do you think of
Yes.
Seattle? Yes. You don't think
they'll be frustratingly good. I think I'm very excited for this match because I do think it could be a Western Conference Final preview.
And in your mind, that Western Conference Final happens at BMO Stadium instead of, I don't even know what Seattle Century. I think it's CenturyLink, although it might have changed again. But the place with the bad turf, the football stadium with the bad turf. Let's just call it that's Seattle's place.
We have unlimited rain and no grass.
It is weird. It is interesting, and there actually are some really good interconference matchups. Like even before this game, the Crew will take on Atlanta. I think those are two teams that could be competing for the Eastern Conference Final. It's like we don't really get to ease into this, right? Right into just Seattle LAFC. Like that's been top of the West for a while.
That's good.
Well, our third storyline is going to focus back on LAFC because, like I said, although the Sounders don't change much, LAFC, on the other hand, are going to look very different. Just 4 potential starters from the team that faced Portland in the home opener in 2023 are on the team this year. That's Murillo, Hollingshead, Ilie, and Bwanga. 4 guys. So 7. So there's a possibility there will be at least 7 changes to the starting 11 from the home opener of last season. Possibly more if one of those 4 do not start as well. Although I would say I think there's a pretty good chance those 4 would be starting on Saturday. So I want to ask you, Darren, what are your hopes for the new look LAFC now that more than 50% of the starting 11 will be different this year?
Yeah, I can't have super high expectations about everything gelling day one, but I do think I want to see that I want to be able to tell from this match that this can work. Like I want to see the glimmer of what Thornton can only see what he thinks will work on paper when he's like wheeling and dealing, right? And then obviously you only land what you can actually land. At some point there was some kind of meeting with Trundle and Thornton and whoever else where they were like, this can work, do it. We're good. So I at least want to just see I want to see the theory, you know?
Mm-hmm. So I finally watched Oppenheimer because it's now free on Peacock. Not a sponsor, clearly, because they compete with Apple, who is our main high target sponsor. But all throughout the movie is literally them I love when they're like, let me do some math. And then they're not using numbers and they just write on a chalkboard like for days. And then they sit back and go, I could be right. I feel like that's exactly what they do it. They do it. And you're like,
I want to see that moment.
First of all, you're looking at the chalkboard and going, how is that math? I don't know what you're doing. And then second, you did all that. I've been told that math, you do it so that you go, yeah, we got it. We nailed it. And you're telling me that you do all that crazy stuff. And then you look back and go, I don't know. I feel good about it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is exactly what it is. I want to see Oppenheimer more now.
It's good.
I just want to I want to come away from that match being like, I think I get what they see.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean we won necessarily, but I think I'll have a hard time coming away from the match being like, what is it that they see that I'm not seeing here? Like, what am I missing about what this is, what's going to work here?
Before we wrap storylines, though, this does bring us full circle because I started by saying LAFC has been perfect in home openers. And now I've told you that Seattle hasn't changed much from being a very good team. Despite losing a legend, they added a very high-level player in his place, a young player. LAFC, on the other hand, has changed a lot. So, Darren, after going through this, to bring it full circle, I now ask you, is this the most in jeopardy that LAFC has ever been at not winning a home opener?
Not winning a home opener. Ooh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's not a horrible thing. I think last year,
question.
Cincy got blown out by somebody to start the season, so it doesn't always. It's a long season. It's a very long season. Ask us in a couple months when both of us are gray and very tired. We'll tell you it's a very long season. We're not even playing.
I think it's very important for us to remember to not forget everything that we learned last season because there's nothing else that we got out of last season other than what we've learned, right? So
we took away.
A couple of those things
Sentimental
are:
trophies.
one, we are now used to the roster changing plenty
Mhm.
of times. This shouldn't shake us too much as fans because we got it all last season. And the other thing is that they were off to a tear at the start of the last season, and I think in a lot of ways that masked some of the issues that then they were like behind the ball on taking care of later because they looked so good to start the season.
Good point.
So I'll take a loss the first match if it's helpful down the road. They're not going to win every game.
No truer words have been spoken. They're not going to win every game, guys. Now,
but they are going to finish atop of the West.
You're starting to sound like me, Darren. You got to be careful. You can't be saying things like, guys, calm down. They're not going to win every game, because then people will be like, but they could, and I want them to. Theoretically, they could.
Listen, there is one more thing I do want to get off my chest before we finish storylines. The other thing that every pundit, I'm not a pundit.
No, you're the king of the
The other thing that everyone else
can't
is
be.
wrong
By
about.
definition of your title as king of the casuals, you cannot be.
Yes, and we're getting back to some casual wear, if you will. The other thing that everyone else is wrong about is everyone loves the Sounders kit, and they are absolutely wrong. They're also wrong about everyone seems to love the LAFC kit, and they're wrong about that too.
That and
because I still don't like it. It's growing on me. I like it. The more I see it like in person and like on people, the more I am liking it more. But it still is not good. That said, everyone loves the Sounders kit, and I don't know who puked up a 4-year-old's birthday party and put it on a jersey and shorts, but that's not a good soccer kit. I'm sorry. You're all wrong. Those colors are ridiculous. I don't mind the design, and I like the idea of light blue shorts. Like, I'm not...
The light blue shorts are my favorite part.
Yes. And I don't want people to be like, oh, you just don't have... You can't get on board with something like creative or like different. No, I would be on board with that. But the colors, they're not exactly the team colors, but there is a problem with the team colors. If it's really just these are the team colors, what do you want us to do? Then like change the team colors. That's what I want you to do. Maybe it's because I have young kids. Like I've got enough of those colors in my life.
Sure. Yeah, they are
I don't need these. This is like a weird toy dinosaur situation.
Yeah, they're your first box of Crayola crayons, and they're the ones that like.
Yeah, it's a Toy Story kit.
Yeah. Oh, it is very Toy Story color palette. You're right. It's
the Toy Story kit.
Wait, we have a different second segment, but we did think about maybe doing kit stuff, understanding that there's too much kit stuff out there. Let's just say, what's your favorite kit?
Like a lot of kit stuff.
Yeah, let's not do this. I love
favorite kit.
Yeah, I love that every year that like writers do breakdowns. And look, I'm a writer myself. I like to think I have a little bit of style, but most writers, I hang out with them in the press box. They do not have any style, and then I love that they get to tell me which kits they think are the best, which is hilarious.
That's true.
That
is so true. That is so true.
I'll say on the same token of the Seattle one, people are high on the Minnesota one. Why? Just because somebody threw like the those little like
space, man.
Yeah, space is cool, but it's the most.
These are the same people that like when you get a green screen, they're like, put space there.
Yeah, it's not stylized. It looks like those little things that you put on your for again going back to being childish for your kid that just display up on the ceiling. Like it's just one of those. I don't think that one's that good. I will say the one that I think I actually like the most, and it somewhat is the most unhinged, is the Red Bull kit. I love the zigzags. I love black and red. The color scheme. I think it's great.
I like that one. I don't love it, but I like it. I'm cool with it. I like how polarizing it is. I've seen a lot of people have very strong opinions on both sides of that, and that makes me happy. In general, I think this is a successful year for kits because I do. Everyone's coming out with their rankings and stuff, and they're very different, and I'm really enjoying that. Like people have very different opinions about these. I don't know if this is my favorite. It's definitely not my favorite kit, but I want to throw out a kit that I feel like has gone under the radar a little bit because it's understated. But NYCFC.
Oh, it's a good one.
A pretty badass kit.
In somewhat the same way that that Red Bulls is good, the colors are just tough. Like they're good. I know that it's pretty simple, but like the orange, that light blue, and then mostly black, it's pretty badass.
It's like a nighttime sunset kind of thing. It's good. It's a good vibe.
All right, and that shall commence our kit talk so that we don't bore people to death because they've probably had so much kit talk.
Yeah, everyone's doing the kit stuff. Maybe like as we play teams, we can talk about their kits because I'm going to want to talk about it all season, every week. I'm sorry if you're subscribing, you don't want to hear it, but it's important to me. But you're so right about that point about these are people who are experts about soccer. That doesn't make them experts about kits. We need like Derek Guy, the Twitter guy who talks about fashion.
Yeah, well,
We need to get him on the show.
Look, I know it's a big
the
ask,
random guy
but,
who shows up in everyone's Twitter timeline. No one knows how they followed him.
But can someone
he's
get
the most popular guy on Twitter?
Can someone reach out to Tim Gunn and have him do it? I don't care about the local MLS writer and what he thinks.
Yeah.
Like, they all wear khakis.
Okay. Let's get a fashion expert on the
Yeah.
show. Let's get a fashion expert on the show, and they'll talk about kits.
Love
Okay.
it.
I'll work on it. All right. Well, that's the storylines. When we come back, we're going to see who's the best hang on the team. All right. On last week's episode, we each drafted teams of LAFC players to track throughout the season. Whoever's team between us and Travis ends up with the most goals on the season will win a bacon-wrapped hot dog outside BMO. This week, we're doing an LAFC player draft again, but this is going to be very different. Today, at Kai and his dogs on Twitter asked us a question so good we canceled everything we were procrastinating on planning for this segment. This is the segment now. Look at me. Look at me. This is the segment now.
We've just given up. We're just letting fans do it now?
Kai and his dogs. Yeah. Submit your segments. No, I just loved this. This is great.
Fun.
This is a great idea. Okay. At Kai and his dogs writes on Twitter, at Hafosafo, random question as first match day approaches. Which current LAFC player would be the best hang at the following locations? 1. A game with the 3252. 2. Laurel Canyon hike. 3. Tire shop taqueria, which is their pregame ritual. K-Town barbecue and karaoke. 5. A stroll in Huntington Gardens. 6. Disneyland. This is great. We did have, there was a Patreon-only episode last season that we touched on this a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think someone asked us a question of if you could have a day with one player, who would it be and what would the day be like, maybe was the question. So we have a little bit of experience here, but ultimately it's on us to figure this out. I think this person came to us because they knew how important it would be to us to get this absolutely perfect. Our reputation and our self-worth depends on this. So the stakes are built right into the premise here, and they could not be higher. So let's figure this out. Let's dig in. I'm looking at the roster here.
So we can only.
Are we going to go in order? Game with the 3-2-5-2?
Sure, and we can only pick rostered players, right? I can't. Is that the rules?
As opposed to what?
You know, my answer to all of these is I want to hang out with Giorgio. I want to hang out with Giorgio. I just want my buddy.
No, I think this is important. They said random question as first match day approaches. So okay. I think it's important here that we're talking about looking at the season ahead of us, the season at hand.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
So I guess that does technically mean Vela is out too.
Sure. And I guess it just keeps me from answering Giorgio for all these. So I can play it. It'll force me to play the game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. So game again,
good.
Pickup game with the 3252, or is it game like in the 3252? I don't know why I have.
Oh, I figured they meant join the 3252.
Okay, join the 3252. Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go for that. I'm gonna go with Eric Duenas because he started as a fan and in the stands, and I think he knows the chance. There. Which I, despite being so involved with LAFC, don't know all of them by heart. And so he can help me not look dumb.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm putting him in. I'm actually writing these down. Because that's
he is, in fact, you guys can't see this, but he is in fact typing these into a document for us.
Oh, we got docs. We got docs,
baby.
This is all going to become canon. Okay, this is important. Laurel Canyon hike. This is one of the, I guess I'll say all of them where Chiellini would have been a great pick.
Sure. Trying to think.
But I think for this one, you want someone like introspective.
Sure.
You want someone where you can end up in a deep conversation with, but also can push it physically.
Another big thing, which the person in my mind has this, which I can't think of many LAFC. I'm sure there are players that have this. They have to have a dog. You got to bring your dogs on your hike, right?
Yeah, that is important. Shit.
And so, in my mind,
my first thought is
I'm going with Ilie Sanchez, who does have a cute little Frenchie that he loves to death. And he could bring his Frenchie along. I could bring my dog Disco, my little dachshund mix, and they could be best buddies. And we could go on and obviously he is a very well-spoken, introspective man, and I'm sure would enjoy a hike.
Yeah, he would be great. I feel like I was saving him for like maybe Disneyland, but I think there's other picks that could work there.
Mm-hmm.
Ilie, it's tough to lose Ilie this early in this game.
Mm-hmm.
He's a ringer for all of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's another one where you could just answer that for.
Yeah. Okay, Ilie. I was gonna say maybe Larice, but we don't know if he has a dog, and if he doesn't have a dog, you're absolutely right.
Yep.
He's out of the running. Tire shop taqueria.
So this one to me depends on what you're looking for in a companion for this. Are you somebody that like enjoys showing off the personality and the vibes of Los Angeles? So you would want to take somebody that maybe is new to this, or are you the opposite and you need some coaxing to go to this type of place and you want somebody that's a veteran of these places to help you order? For me, I've been to plenty of taqueria and plenty of unusual and odd places, not brick and mortar, just tents popped up in random spots. So I feel like I would like to bring somebody new, but I don't know where your head's at here, Darren.
New to that
Yes.
experience?
I feel like it would be so much more fun for me to gift them with this experience and say, hey, this is maybe something you've never gotten to do. Come learn about my city and learn about one of the greatest things that we have here.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I think we should split this in two. I think we should give a conditional answer here
Okay.
because I think that's an important. I think I have a good pick for a completely different scenario. So ultimately, Akai and his dogs is going to decide what is the type of hang that they're looking for in this particular situation, and we have a good answer for either one. So, who is your pick for what you're talking about?
Hugo Lloris is a man that has spent
Solid,
almost his entire
solid.
career in Europe. He's obviously, I would say, he seems like, look, if he's taking the jump at 37 from Europe to Los Angeles, to Major League Soccer, he's an adventurous guy. So I think he would enjoy going out and
Mm-hmm.
seeing the city, learning a little bit more about the city. So I think for that reason, it would be really fun to bring him to the taqueria.
Okay, my pick is a different scenario
Okay.
where you want to go with somebody who like fits the vibe really well, but also raises the bar
Mhm.
with the vibe. And this is someone you want to kick it with, and you're there and you're having a good time. Maybe you're getting everybody else who's there involved, other people who are there, people who work there. Everyone's having a great time, and not only that, but they're like very comfortable. They know the tacos, they know what to order. This is Jesus Murillo.
Okay. I like Murray. And I would be
This
remiss
guy's gonna be fun.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say this because he likes to point this out. He is the king of the street taqueria, Max Bretos, who says he's been to as many as you can ever think of, and probably more in and around the city of Los Angeles would be a great hang at these because that's his jam. He'll call a game and just stop off and be like, "Ah, I've never been to this place before."
I like Bredos as an honorable mention.
I love Murray because he takes a second to get him out of his shell because for being such a large man, he can be very quiet and silent and not like
Uh-huh.
super talkative. But once you get him out of his shell, which I think Taqueria is a great place to do that and hang out, have some tacos, maybe some drinks, or maybe just a pina, a nice pineapple drink or something like that. But you could maybe put some alcohol with it. But I think it would be a fun time.
I love it.
All right, this has to be a
Okay,
particular.
K-Town barbecue and karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is
You gotta have somebody with some energy
tough.
and somebody who's they're down because you can't have a mopey
Uh,
shy person.
okay,
This
is
is
this Denny? Is this where Denny comes out? This really is amazing.
this is the hardest one. Yeah, and they really need. I'm trying to think like a big personality, outgoing. I don't.
Aaron Long
I was gonna say actually maybe this isn't Aaron Long because he really is a personality and is like game for anything. I'm just trying to rack my brain
or
to
Hollingshead?
think of somebody that's like always singing.
Who on the
Hollingshead.
team's always singing and is like out in K-Town
No,
or karaoke or
it's
something like that?
you're right. It's Hollingshead. It's Ryan Hollingshead.
Is it Hollingshead?
Yeah,
Okay.
he would embrace it. He would have a great time. He'd be the guy that's like, "You got to get up there again and do another song." No, I'm just doing one tonight. He's like, no, come on, no one does just one song.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. Yes. Okay. Yeah, because look, he's like a good sport too. Like he's leaned into the mustache thing
Mhm.
when he hasn't had to.
Yeah,
Like that's a goal celebration now. When it could be like, oh, everyone's like talking about my mustache all the
right.
time.
He's like,
I'm
it's
so
just facial
annoying.
hair. I'm
Okay.
lazy.
Yeah. He's like, all right, this is fun. Stroll in Huntington Gardens. Okay, this is. Let's just figure out. Let's figure out how this is different from a Laurel Canyon hike, shall
Right.
we? We're talking about botanical gardens here. We're talking about maybe high tea. We don't know. Uh, we're talking about an upscale museum food court.
Yeah,
We're talking about maybe a touch of academia, if you will.
sure. Somebody that really enjoys a variety of plants and agriculture and
Nature, yeah.
Okay.
Many different cultures
Okay.
being represented. Another tough one for sure, I think. Can we include Dolo?
See, but then if you do that, Giorgio's part of the coaching staff, then we can do Giorgio's the answer for this one.
You're just trying to find a backdoor to Giorgio. I think what I want out of this is somebody who, like, you end up in all these different countries' botanical gardens, and they've got a story because they've been to all of these places. Who's the most well-traveled player on the team?
Ooh.
Who's played for the most teams around the world?
Not that many, oddly enough. A lot of guys have played in maybe one or two teams and then are at LAFC. Giorgio included. He played for Juventus for the longest time. Obviously played in a couple of teams in Italy, but yeah, who's jumped around countries? Not
Yeah, but you travel a lot. Like if they play for the national team, they've probably traveled a lot.
Sure, yeah. Then in that case, Giorgio would have traveled a ton, playing for Italy as much as he did. Hugo as well.
We already used Hugo, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, Hugo's out.
Maybe this is what about?
Okay, maybe there's a better angle on this.
What about Sergi Palencia? Seems like a thoughtful guy.
Okay.
So he seems very thoughtful. He's very mild mannered. I do remember when he first came to the team. He after his first interview, he did it in Spanish and then said to all of us he'll do the next one in English. So he was like very calm. He's like, and we were like, no one, you do whatever you're comfortable with, but that's really cool that you want to push yourself. Yeah, he seems to be accommodating to other people, cares about other people. I think we're going with Sergi.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, this definitely here's the answers. It's not. You're not taking. This is not a Bogusz. This is not a Ibiza guy. You're not taking him.
Which I love that. That's what we think. We think that his entire personality is the team he played for last. But that's what's going to be. Yeah, but there's guys who clearly are going to be like, maybe they'll like it, but they're like, this is who you take to the club. This is not who you take to the gardens. Yeah, Palencia. I think that's good. Who's coming to Disneyland?
So my fun answer for this is Bowanga, just because he wears the type of clothes that you see all the foreign people that are at Disneyland wearing. Like you just see a guy you're walking around Disneyland, you see a guy in jean shorts and a big Balenciaga orange shirt. Could you see Bowanga wearing that with Air Maxes, with like big Nike white shoes? For sure. Pushing a stroller.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's true. Oh man. Okay. I think this is another two-parter. I think we want somebody who's like fun to go to Disneyland with. It's just you and him. That we're talking about two adults having a great adult time at Disneyland. Okay. I think, who do you take with your family to Disneyland? Okay. I think we're talking Eddie Segura.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
I don't know I don't know what his family is like.
He has a son,
but he strikes me as like he has the best dad energy on the team. I think.
No, he has a son, and his son he definitely is very family oriented. You see a lot of pictures of them. He's very involved, with his son's like soccer teams and stuff like that. So I think that's a very good one. If he was still on the team, the answer would probably be Chicho Arango. But I think Segura is a good.
That's a great call.
Yep.
Chicho might be a Disney adult. Chicho Arango might be a Disney adult.
I think he is. Like, makes sense.
I think he's into enough anime that he could cross over.
Also, I'm gonna say it again.
Okay, Bowanga, Segura,
jean shorts on a man.
I think we've got good picks here.
He loves a good pair of jean shorts.
Is there anyone on the team that is a singular enough personality and a strong enough personality that it feels like they should be on this list, and we should invent a new hang so that they can be on it?
We have so many young guys that we don't know much about, and they seem so quiet when they first come in. So that makes it tough, right? There's no one.
So maybe that's an assignment for us.
That would be an interesting question.
As soon as we can, we need to come up with what is the ideal hang and the ideal player to add to this list with one of the new guys.
Right. Well, and to your point, like if you're trying to think about it, there's not one domineering personality on the team. Like sometimes, and there's not always that in every team, but I can't think of one guy that like their whole personality is the personality of the team.
Yeah. I think that is the nature of the team that seems to have been going really well and seems to be like what makes it whether or not someone meshes with the team. And I really enjoy that. It feels like a team full of people who really enjoy being part of a team, the fabric of a team.
Right.
As opposed to like all right, who are the heavy hitters around here? Am I one of them? Okay, let's do our thing. Like,
Yeah, there's not like a LeBron
I don't
character
know.
that
No
like
one
just
wants to be on this team.
dominates everything, and then everyone like gets in line.
Cool. Okay, so that's an open assignment. And I think if you're listening or watching, then add us and let us know what you think. I don't know if you know any of these new guys well enough to know how they belong on this list, but tell us what you think about this. Tell us if you have different picks. And in the coming weeks, as we get to know these new guys, that is our assignment. We will figure this out. We will add to this list. And thank you once again to Akai and his dogs for this great question. We have answered it in a segment. When we come back, we're going to make some bets. And we're back. Now it's time for a segment called Bet It and Forget It. Each week, we end the show with a bet for this week's game. We make an outlandish prediction, something that almost definitely will not happen, but could. Each week, Travis and I put up $5. If no one hits, the money rolls over to the next week, and eventually, by the time someone's weird prediction comes true, they might win a good chunk of change. But not on match day one. You won't win a good chunk of change. You'll win $5. And Travis here. So, Vince, you will make a bet. Travis will bankroll it. And if you win, you'll split the money. That's what we decided without Travis.
Yes.
Travis has not decided. He'll find out when he listens to this episode. All right. Do you want to start us off? Do you have a bet?
I do. I'm going to channel, because I'm betting for myself and Travis, mostly because it's Travis's money. I'm going to channel Travis. Although I would say that this is somewhat outlandish, I still think it could happen. The last time LAFC went into a home opener with a lot of turnover was in 2022. They played the Colorado Rapids, and Carlos Vela scored a hat trick. Now, I'm not going to say Carlos Vela is going to score a hat trick, because that absolutely cannot happen. What I will say, I think Travis will agree with me here, Danny Bouanga hat trick.
Ooh, hat trick in the home opener. That would be fantastic. Okay, that's a good one. Mine is going to be an assist for Hugo Lloris.
Ooh, a goalie assist. Yeah, maybe one of those a year at most.
Before last season, but I like it for this one and this guy. That's going to be it. We'll see what happens. Our theme music is done by the insane team of James Valentine, Nate Walcott, and Louis Palmer. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, where all episodes and clips are available in video form as well, at youtube.com/@HappyFootSadFoot. You can review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you'd like to support the show. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. If you've made it this far in the episode, chances are you're enjoying the show. If that's true and you want to show us even more support, please consider becoming a friend of the foot for $5 a month at patreon.com/HappyFootSadFoot, or pick up some Half-O inspired merch by going to happyfootsadfootpod.com. Any support you show us really goes a long way to keeping the show going and keeping the community growing. Thank you so much for everyone who's been supporting us thus far, and we'll see you at BMO, baby. I love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye. See you later. Okay.
See you Saturday.
See you at Birria.